So I'll start that again. Welcome everybody to a tour of Numicon Online. This will be recorded and this presentation recording will be on the EduShop website under webinar recordings. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. No apati aho, ko Loveridge te whānau, ko Jolene aho. Ka nui te mihi kia koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. So important information before I share a few slides. Schools should have received an email roughly about 2 weeks ago from EduShop asking schools to share who is their Numicon Online manager. You will not receive access if you haven't replied to that email. Please maybe contact your admin person, office or office at. If you have not received this, then email ken@edushop.nz if your school has not received this. Schools that have had, it's because the website's gone live, schools that have confirmed their email contact will receive an email from OUP, so Oxford University Press, this week. And once again, if you haven't received that, ken@edushop.nz. Okay, so this is a helpful table where it shows where to start your learners, and it also has intervention, Tier 3, Tier 2, and Senior Catch-Up. These intervention and Senior Catch-Up are not part of the ministry resources, but they are available through EduShop. If you need any more information about where to start your learners, you can head to www.numicon.co.nz, then find the resources tab here, and there'll be a drop-down box, and you just click on implementing Numicon. There is so much information on there to help you make those decisions as well. So getting on to Oxford OWL. So this is obviously the login. You will, once you receive your login, you will then find, all right, the teachers section, because obviously it instantly goes to the students. So you just click on your teachers and then log in once you've all been set up. And that's why we need to know who's going to be the manager, all right, because they will be setting up logins for your school. So step 1, finding the scope and sequence. After logging in, you will come to this page, and I'm going to take you there at the end of these slides. And you will scroll down to Numicon Planning Documents and just click on that, which will then take you to this page here where these will show, but also the firm foundations will be just above that as well, which is the new entrance year 1 resource. Some key points is you can save the scope and sequence to your desktop, and when you've signed into Oxford OWL, the links will be live. So the Numicon scope and sequence, it is a full year's worth of work. So you will first of all arrive to see the contents page, which lists the long-term plan, the detailed unit planners, and then the assessment support. You will have the teaching sequence, which has on the left-hand side, if you click on one of these, it will take you straight to the unit planner. Each coloured band is what we used to know as the strands, but now the contexts, and they are roughly about a week's worth of work. So inside these sits activities. Okay, so if we click on the right-hand side, that will take us to the activities, the lessons. And OUP, they will add in another column eventually, which links to Te Mataiaho. I'm also showing you the document that they have created that links to Te Mataiaho progress steps. The assessment cards are also easily accessible. So children, it's about checking understanding if need be for the milestones. So Numicon uses milestones in assessment, and a milestone is a marker along a child's learning journey. So very handy for teachers to be noticing in the moment. All right, so just a little bit closer look up at one of these bands, coloured bands, on the scope and sequence has an activity group. planning sheet. And this is what that looks like, a close-up version. So I just want to go through a few of these titles, or the majority of the titles. Calculating 1, developing fluency with adding and subtracting facts to 10. So it lists the key mathematical ideas, adding, subtracting, pattern, mathematical thinking, and reasoning. Teachers can go to the key mathematical ideas section and find out more about that to support their teaching. The educational context, that covers what prior knowledge the students need to know and where the learning will be heading. The learning opportunities listed there, and then moving over to the terms for children to use. Really important that these learners will be using these daily and they actually understand them. Assessment opportunities. This is what you're looking and listening for, your daily, your formative assessment in the moment. Then your NPC milestone 1, that's what you're going to be looking for over time. Sometimes the milestone will be able to be seen within the week. All right. And then we've got Explorer progress books. They are completed, that it's a task that the teacher can choose to complete at the end of the unit. And then Explore More Copy Master around the board. They were developed as a homework task to send home. A lot of teachers use that within the classroom as a follow-up. Right, the pupil book. Pupil books they are with the Ministry Initiative. All right, so you will be receiving the physical copy of the pupil book. Just please note that these are problem-solving pages. They are not books for pupils to write in. They start from Numicon 3 onwards. In this particular activity group, there are 6 activities, okay, 6 focus activities, and they are all linked, they are all hyperlinked to the actual explicit teaching steps. It is recommended this unit planner should take roughly 1 week, okay. Now I'm just going to go into each of these tabs. So what you're going to see when you hit on activity 1, okay, you'll see it's to do with exploring ways to find all combinations. Here are the key words for the week. You'll just click on the learning opportunities, which will come down as a download if you need that separately. Otherwise, it is on that planning sheet. It has what you need to have ready here in bullet points, nice, easily to read bullet points. The second tab is called the links tab. You do not need to click on every single one of these links, okay? I'm just going to explain each of them now. This first one, full activity group overview, is just your unit planner that I've just showed you. The starter image, that encourages a good old conversation in maths, all right? It's going to be an image that's related to the topic, and in this particular image, it is a picture of yogurt containers because they are looking at combinations of yogurt, okay? Whole class practice and discussion can be used at the end of a lesson. Photocopy masters, that is every single photocopy master you need for the whole year. So you definitely don't need to download that one because it's all linked within the further steps. Pupil book opening questions. These are the only ones accessible online, the opening questions, but you will have the hard copy of the pupil book, so no trouble there. There is also the answer book, the pupil book answer book, and that has great links to the milestones in there, and obviously also the answers to the pupil book. The interactive whiteboard software, you don't need to have an interactive whiteboard to be able to use that. It's great for modeling up on the telly or also creating resources. And also that My Maths link is not part of the ministry funding. It is a separate subscription. All right, and these words, these two here are very similar. I have mentioned them in the earlier slides, but a good way to remember it is when you see the word progress, that's to do with obviously assessing. That Explorer progress is to do with assessing, and then Explore More, it's like a further activity to support. So that was for the homework task. And then we've got the Numicon 3 assessment cards that teachers can use to check whether some learners have the understanding. okay? Not used for every single child, but it's just the ones that you're not sure. All right, and moving on to the next tab. So this is where it starts, the explicit teaching step by step, okay? It is an explicit teaching sequence, and this activity 1 is meant to be low threshold, so it's accessible for all. In here, you will see words like look and listen for, so that teachers are noticing, recognizing, and responding in the moment. You will see words like set the scene. Okay, that means that there's a problem-solving task, a real-life context coming up. So really great to have those as teachers. Now, moving on to the final tabs, what we call the plus tabs. These are paired and independent tasks for students to practice, embed, and challenge their new learning. Now, practice tasks are important to be used because obviously that learning, to be able to be embedded, it needs to be practiced. Sometimes there may not be an option for a plus tab. It may just list the pupil book task. Right, so reference to the pupil books and open question for discussion is also another idea. The pupil books are designed for building depth of understanding after the lesson. So this is just an example that I've turned one of those practice tasks from the plus tab into a task card that can be reused all the time so that they're daily repeating those activities. All right, I'm going to go on to the website now, Numicon Online. Oh, that's the mapping chart. Just make sure my thing's up in the background here. Yes, here it is. This here, just while we're on this is where you'll find the webinar recordings, okay, at EduShop. And just under that tab there, I'm going to log out of Oxford Owl so that you can see how goes back to that initial logging in. So here we go, clicking on login. I'm making sure that I'm on the teachers area. I then log in. And there are a lot of subscriptions in here. You will, on yours, just see this Numicon Online, and some of you who have already purchased, possibly separately, the Numicon Intervention Program. So Numicon Online. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to go back. Yep, I'm going to go back because I've just seen Numicon Online NZ.
Yep.
This will eventually, I can click on that and it will take me straight there. Look at that, fantastic, Home NZ. Okay, so eventually here they will have a video, all right, of a New Zealander talking and sharing giving you a tour of Numicon Online. This here shows you which year group to which book. And then these Numicon planning documents, online index, curriculum mapping chart, and then further support. This will, so yeah, I'd just like to quickly show you a few of these. All right, so I can either click on this one or it's just below here as well. But I'm going to click on the Numicon planning documents just to show you, just like on the slides, my slides that you've just seen. So here you will see firm foundations right through to Numicon 6. I am going to show you Numicon 3 because that is from the slides that I had prepared and showed you earlier. So here you will arrive with the contents page, and then I can scroll down or either click on the link. It gives you long-term plan for Numicon 3, New Zealand Year 4. I will then, okay, on the left-hand side, this will take me to the unit planner. All right. Otherwise, I can click on the right-hand side and that will take me to the lessons. Okay, right-hand side, and that will take me to the lessons. So you've seen activity 1, low threshold. with all of those same screenshots that I had showed you, all right? The explicit teaching steps, the plus tab, so that's the independent or paired work, all linked. So here I can click on, all right, if I'd finished that whole week's worth of work. So here, once I'd finished teaching all of those, I can click on any of those activities and all those same links will be there within that activity group. I can click on this progress book. So remembering when we hear the word progress, it's to do with assessment. I'll just spin this around so you can see this. There is always 2 pages to go with these progress pages. The first page is a known context, something that you've taught them within the week. And the second page is something new, okay? It's an unknown. So they're seeing if they can actually apply their understanding into a different context. So I will just click back on these tabs here around the board. It just comes as a download. Explore more. So that's that homework task. You can see here, nice and clear, the instructions if you were to send it home, otherwise sometimes with teacher aids. All right, and they're generally games. So really, really clear there. And then I'm going to go back to the Home NZ to show you. So that was the planning documents, the online index. I can go into, this is a one-stop shop, okay? And these align to the tabs, okay, at the top of the Home NZ tabs, okay? And then I can scroll down and see, once again, the correlations, the online resources, the assessment resources, they're all linked, planning, teacher support videos. For each book, it gives you examples, and then how to use the shapes. There's, I'm not going to show you obviously everything, but that's just there. If I just hit back, it should take me back to that index. Right, the third, curriculum mapping chart. So I'm just going to click download. And this here, using Numicon to support Te Mataiaho, the New Zealand curriculum. So this just helps you with, obviously, it gives you information. It also gives you the key to, they use a lot of shorthand. All right, so just if you're unsure of what FF means, you can just go and have a look here. It's firm foundations. NPC, I can see there, number, pattern, and calculating. And then it's also got the contents page, which is linked. So if I am teaching phase 2, I can click on that and it'll take me straight to phase 2. So here you will see the progress steps for each at the during year 4, year 5, and year 6, and then the activity groups, which are sitting in there that link to that. And then I'm just going to scroll down. There is content being written, and it will say, if hopefully there's one down here. It will say activity to follow. Okay, so when you see activity to follow, know that it will be coming. Okay, and we have had word from the UK that they will have everything done by April next year, because that's something that I missed off at the start about anything new, all right, any updates. So for example, the New Zealand currency, all right, because it does have pounds and pence, that will come and be listed here as a PDF, and also Te Reo Māori resources. The stats and probability, I'll just go and show you that now because I forgot to mention it before. Go back into Numicon 3. I'm going to scroll down on my scope and sequence and just show you the pink. You'll see there, statistics and probability will be pink, all right, coming mid-April. So if you'll be fine, okay, because you will not be able to get through all of that by April, so you will have it in time before you teach. All right, and then the last box there before I go to firm foundations and the interactive whiteboard, further support. That will take you to Numicon NZ. At the moment, it will be taking you to EduShop. Oh no, there it is. It's going to Numicon NZ. Fantastic. So that's got lots of information there, which I'd obviously already showed you earlier. Firm foundations, I'm just going to click on that now. I can either do it from that tab or from the index or from obviously down the bottom. So I can click on here, teaching folder. There's also a lovely Numicon at the Seaside resource too. So I can enlarge and have a look as I can go back to the cards. So here's all the activity cards and firm foundations. There are 18 cards, roughly 2 weeks per card, and fantastic resource here for your new entrants year 1 students there. Okay, I'll just scroll down there. There's your Numicon at the Seaside book and then the teaching guide as well. I'll just quickly show you the interactive Numicon interactive whiteboard software. All of they can be saved, all right? Each of if you create anything that you'd like to save and use the next day, you can save these pages here. All right, so if I wanted to show you the pan balance, all the shapes are weighted, the rods and the Cuisenaire rods and the Numicon shapes. I can see there greater than and equivalent. I can also add in baseboards and use that to demonstrate, obviously, if we were looking at the number 6 and how that was made up. I can click delete all right, but I can also click save as well. I'll just show you the money. It's quite useful to know. Here you will see 1p, 2p. All we do is we scroll down to the dollars and there it is there. There is also spinners. I can bring in a spinner if I want to. If I scroll down here, I might use shapes and I want that one there. So children could come up and spin the spinner and find a 2 shape and place it on the board. Right, so Home NZ, it's a wonderful, absolutely wonderful resource, nice and easy to find. And any new updates will be down here along with the Numicon mixed stage plans, which is a work in progress. So I'm just going to stop share and go back into my presentation and just read you the last slide. Tēnā koe mō te kōwhiri, Numicon. Thank you for choosing Numicon. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. There is a hand at the bottom. Raise your hand if you would like to ask any questions. Otherwise, you are welcome to just leave the meeting. Thank you for your time, everyone.